We've all lost weight before, but if it's been hard for you to maintain that result, or if you feel nervous or worried that you might gain it back, you don't have confidence in your results lasting, that's the reason that so many times the smartest women will gain the weight back. And that creates this cycle of frustrating disbelief. I never ever thought that this was even a thing. But overachieving professional women are so productivity addicted. We get so much of our value and self worth from being of service for other people and for being productive. It feels deeply uncomfortable to actually take a pause and have rest. You might claim that you want to have a break and you want to have rest, but when you do get it, how do you typically feel? I don't know about you, but as an overachiever, I feel restless. You'll know that this is you if you're on the massage table and thinking about your email inbox, or maybe you're on vacation, but you're worried about what you're going to walk back into when you get back to work. Maybe you have a chance to take a break, but a part of you is feeling just a little bit guilty that you could be doing something productive. If this is you, you're not alone. It's just that from your youngest years and definitely through school and training, you got programmed to become a worker. That's where you got a lot of value and self-worth from, and that's why it is so hard to stop. I talk about this in a lot of detail in my Body Reset mini course. If you have not grabbed that, I'm not sure where you've been, you can go grab that over on my website. But one of the first things that I talk about in that mini course is when you have a tired and fatigued brain, which you do as an overachiever, making thousands of decisions per day, you're making complex decisions at work and at home. A tired brain that has no end in sight and no rest on the calendar will steal it in small moments. We steal it with snacking, scrolling, and mindless procrastination. But the intention of this episode is just to highlight that there's a reason that you don't have real rest on the calendar. It feels very uncomfortable to actually have an endpoint to your workday, to decide that you're going to be done with work and you're going to let yourself have rest. And it's because most professional women have a really hard time slowing down enough to let themselves feel good. This sounds crazy because a lot of overachieving professional women just want to feel good. We think we just want to feel good, but when you have the opportunity to do so, you're not able to receive it. Nothing is wrong with you. This is really normal. The second way that this shows up is whenever you do experience a win, whether it's pounds down on the scale, or maybe you get some praise from a colleague, patient, or client, maybe you get a job promotion or some level of success or achievement, a part of your brain writes it off as a fluke. You're not able to really receive your role in creating that win. You think it's a fluke, you're making up for lost time, it was a team effort, it didn't really matter. You have some version of a story that is not really able to internalize the achievement and the win. The third way that this will show up, particularly with weight loss, is as you start to lose weight, particularly if you have a strategy like I teach that feels like a lifestyle upgrade, it might feel very disconcerting that you're able to lose weight while feeling better. It will feel like something is going wrong or the other shoe is going to drop, particularly if you've had punishing strategies in the past. It will feel like this is too good to be true. When is it going to stop working? What if I gain it back? And I just want you to catch that part of the reason is because you have an intolerance to feeling success and receiving wins. I wanted to share this as a lesson because I didn't even know that this was a thing. So while I was unaware that I had success intolerance and I wasn't aware that I had a hard time receiving wins and successes and really deeply owning them, success was very slippery for me. I would lose some weight, but then because I would either think it was a fluke or I didn't really create it or it was random, I would somehow self-sabotage and gain it back. Whenever I would have an opportunity to be done with work, I would notice my brain fast forwarding like a time machine, thinking about the next thing that I could catch up on, but then I would also complain about being so mentally exhausted. This is when I started to understand this as a concept and a problem. I started to read about it in different books that talk about self-growth. I really love the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. He talks about the upper limit problem. I really love this concept where he describes this upper limit problem. When you're experiencing a success or a win, there's a part of our brain, again, it's the primitive part of our brain that is really scared about what it means. Are we going to lose it? Is it really real? What if we mess up? And because that future feels uncertain, the overachiever in us that loves to control things will guarantee failure by self-sabotaging. It's almost like we would rather control our failure than let it happen randomly. All of this is happening because we are experiencing success intolerance. And I share this as a painful lesson because after learning the first three lessons, and again, these were all happening simultaneously, it wasn't in chronological order, but this was one of the biggest reasons that I would lose a lot of weight and then then stall, and I would lose a lot of weight and then I would gain some weight back. And it was also part of the reason that I had this niggling worry in the background. What if it doesn't last? This feels a little bit too good to be true, that I'm losing weight with a strategy that genuinely feels so good for my body that I don't have any FOMO or deprivation around. I'm actually eating high quality foods that feel so good. How can it be possible? Where has this been my entire life? How did I not know about this? Something must be wrong. I had to really learn how to catch those thoughts in real time. This is again coming back to a really simple tool that's very powerful, the power of metacognition. It's simply a fancy way of becoming really self-aware of the thoughts you're having about your results. So the next time that you are experiencing a win, whether it's on the scale or in your career, or maybe you get words of affirmation or some praise from a colleague or client, maybe a patient gives you a lot of positive feedback, rather than thinking it was a group effort or a fluke or it doesn't really matter, I want you to sit with the discomfort of that for just a minute and dare yourself to receive it. Say a simple thank you to the person that gives you the positive feedback. Say thank you and genuinely recognize and acknowledge yourself for having created the win. This is going to release the cleanest form of dopamine. And this type of dopamine, this type of pleasure where you start to recognize and reward yourself for the successes that you are creating, number one, not only has zero regret attached, it's a part of the process when you have pride in the process and you're able to receive wins and build your capacity to hold success, you'll start to create more of it. All of a sudden, the effort to lose weight or the effort to achieve your next goal, either for your body or your career, stops feeling like another full-time job. The effort starts to become something you crave because you're recognizing your wins and successes along the way. This is one of the biggest things that flipped the switch for me. Learning how to receive wins and successes. I know it's uncomfortable, particularly if you're someone that is not used to this. Trust me, not doing this is going to cost you results. It's going to feel like your wins are always going to slip right out of your hands because you don't realize how much control you've had in creating them. So this is lesson number 4, building your success tolerance, learning how to receive wins mentally and physically. Own your wins, put your arms around it, feel the pride and the recognition of the wins you're creating. It's never a fluke and it's never random. And truly, just this one practice, almost like a tool in your toolbox, is going to create a feeling of so much pride and the best type of dopamine ever. I hope you enjoyed this 4-part series. It has been so fun for me to record these 4 podcast episodes from my car, and I hope that you have found them to be helpful and valuable. Again, I would love it if you could leave us a rating and review. The celebration's ending this week, and we're going to announce winners in just a couple of days, so don't wait. Head over to burnstressloseweight.com/celebrate. Leave us a rating and review and drop us a screenshot so that we can get your entry in. Coming up in the next few weeks, I have some amazing client stories that are coming to the podcast. We're going to be opening enrollment for the next cohort of Burn Stress, Lose Weight, which is my 6-month signature group coaching program for professional women who want to take what we're talking about here on the podcast and take it into real life active implementation. You get me as your coach in your corner with thousands of hours of experience now overcoming, as you can tell, many obstacles. And more important than that, I'm here to help you find your blind spots. You very rarely have an information problem. Most of the time, for most overachievers, of course, you have some strategy gaps, but the biggest issue that a lot of overachievers have is a mindset gap. And that's what we do together in coaching. So keep your eye out. If you want to know more about the enrollment coming up on our next cohort, you can get all the details about the group over at burnstressloseweight.com/group. I have all the nuts, the bolts, the details, the dates, the investment, the features of what's included, and exactly what happens the moment you join. I want to make sure that you start getting ready for enrollment so it doesn't catch you off guard. It's an investment, but it is an investment that will pay you back 10x with what you put in, because when you start feeling better and losing the weight you want with a strategy that really feels like an upgrade, you don't just lose weight, you change inside out. How you start showing up in every part of your life literally starts to change. That's what my clients report. And you're going to hear that on the podcast coming up really soon. I hope you'll have an amazing day, and I can't wait to see your entry in the podcast giveaway. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. One lesson that I have learned over the years is when women feel better on the inside out, everyone around them gets to benefit. Your career, your family, you all get to claim the up level. So if today's podcast episode gave you a new way to think, or maybe challenged an old perspective that you've had, take it with you the rest of this week. And if this podcast episode resonated with you, I would love it so much if you could leave us a rating and review and share this episode with a friend or in your local community. And if you know you want more support and structure in achieving your body goals this year, it might be time for us to work together. Head over to www www.burnstressloseweight.com, where I have the latest resources and all of the information about how you can work with me. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you at the next